I wasn't originally planning on doing this, but this has become We Told You So, episode 122. I'm just going to talk about a few things that have been happening lately, in case people weren't already aware of them. While it appears from news reports that the two biggest authoritarians that we have to worry about here in the United States, one being our own, are both in pretty bad physical as well as mental health. So while we all sit around and wait for the wonderful magical day where they both get carried off to Neverland, we have to continue with the daily barrage of bullshit. Like very progressive and successful universities being forced to shut down their diversity programs because the administration keeps threatening to defund or take away federal funding from any colleges or schools who don't get rid of anything they deem as DEI. Which is hilarious coming from the man who has chosen what has been called the worst cabinet in history. Full of people who are literal DEI hires because they were chosen not based on their merits or qualifications, but just based on the fact that they kissed Trump's ass. So he's out here complaining about diversity and people not being hired on their qualifications, while his people are out here leaking classified information on Signal, and those same stupid officials having their passwords and information leaked online, while people like Trump and Rubio continue to commit war crimes, not just by forcing millions of Gazans out of their own homeland, but also by illegally sending peaceful civilian migrants to Guantanamo Bay and torture prisons in El Salvador. And not to be outdone, Brainworm Jr. said that he's going to cut the health department's workforce by 1/3 in a time full of disease outbreaks and several potential new pandemics looming over the horizon. But I'm sure everything will be fine. There are really only two possibilities here, and it's difficult to tell which one is true. Either Trump and his people are acting this inept in order to destroy the government and harm people on purpose, or they are actually this stupid and we are officially living in a kakistocracy. It's really hard to tell which is true. Remember when the Republicans and everybody in the MAGA were complaining about dumb petty shit, like Fox News was reporting that Biden was so anti-free speech and Biden was coming for your gas stoves and coming for your beef? Any dumb thing they could come up with. And after all these dumb pundits and people on their right-wing podcasts kept complaining for years that Obama and Joe Biden were torching the Constitution, and the Republicans claimed that they themselves were so against cancel culture. Yet he and their party are systematically deploying the most anti-free speech methods possible. Even going so far as to flagging and removing certain words from any of their governmental documents that include things that are against racism or misogyny and anything that promotes diversity and inclusiveness. They're censoring government websites like NASA, the FDA, the FBI, the White House's own government page, and the biggest hypocrite of them all, Elonia Muskrat, who has declared for years that he is a warrior for free speech, has removed or blocked hundreds of people on his platform who are considered left-wing, and literally bans people if they use words like cisgender. That's how fragile these people are. And really the saddest thing about articles like this, showing a melting Pizza the Hut and the ghost of Carmen Sandiego, is that for decades upon decades, our country was known as the Great Melting Pot. The reason that our culture, and ironically our country, was already great was because of the diverse makeup of the people in it. We are a country of immigrants. And with one fell swoop, this authoritarian administration comes in and says, nope, we're a white Christian nation, which is exactly not what the founding fathers wanted us to be. We went from being celebrated as one of the most diverse countries in the world to them in fewer than 2 months attempting to sterilize it. Again, ironically, the day that America will truly be greater again is when he and people like him are gone for good.